Hey guys, well, it's Sunday. We made it to the last day of the week, or for some, the start of the week. I woke up and we're still living in a nightmare. Well, a couple of nightmares. Donald Trump is still president, and yeah, that's about all I can say because, frankly, it's a fucking shit show. And welcome to Politically Opinionated with Mike. If you guys have noticed, I've tried to upgrade the scenery that you all see instead of a recliner and an office closet door and, well, a shitty background. We're still in my home office. It's the other nicer corner of the office. But today we're going to talk about what was another disaster of a coronavirus update from our dear leader. Oh, and well, it was another doozy filled with lies and, well, I don't even know if there were any truths. Well, there was one. He was still president and he was still breathing. That was a truth. So, with his conference, he just riddled it with anything from a little bit of the pandemic to talks about North Korea, Iran, Chinese tariffs, blaming our country's governors for the lack of response in testing. I'm just gonna say this. Bitch, please. You know, Donald, I'm not gonna call you president. You've got to earn that title, and you really haven't. I mean, really, come on. You started with your inauguration with hellfire, doom, and carnage. Then you've put in place pretty much anybody and everybody that has dismantled anything good for this country. And then we have a global pandemic where we had people in place that were to help you identify, help you create a structure to manage. You either don't rehire or you fire them or you defund them. So, yeah, we're going to start with that. So, Donald. Let's not try to, sugarcoat this at all. You lying jackass. I'm just going to be truthful and honest. And frankly, I have people that, will sit here and watch this and be like, dear God, Michael, you are just a blatantly hate-filled person that hates Donald Trump to the core. that you supported Hillary Clinton no matter what, you loved Barack Obama, and you would never support a Republican no matter what. You know what? That's kind of further from the truth. I'm very much independent. And, I kind of look at all the facts and everything. I've supported many a Republican. And, just because I've supported Democrats in the past does not mean I will always support Democrats. I've supported Republicans in the past. It doesn't mean I'm always going to support Republicans. I've called out both. I didn't support Barack Obama at first. Joe Biden wasn't my first pick. But you know what? He was my third. But you know what? I look at everybody's record, I weigh them out, and I make my choices from there. And no, I've never supported Donald Trump because he's never had a record that was worthy of supporting. You want to know some Republicans I have supported? John Huntsman. I even looked at, there were things with Marco Rubio I supported, not everything on his platform. There were some things with George W. Bush that I agreed with, but I never always supported him. There were common grounds that I could support him on. There were things with Mitt Romney that I could agree with him on, but I didn't always support him. There are ways to find common ground with Republicans and not always have to support everything within their platforms. It's called finding bipartisanship. It's the same way with Democrats. However, with Donald Trump, there is no middle ground. He likes scorched earth. He doesn't care about either side. You are either with him or against him, and that's how it is. You bow down and lick his boots, or you don't. And that's how it is. And yes, my coffee cup says, I hate when I wake up and Donald Trump is still president. My best friend got that for me. So, let's get back to the shit show of the coronavirus update from yesterday. This one was a doozy. He went on to blame he inherited faulty testing for the coronavirus from the Obama-Biden administration. So, we have a novel coronavirus that is brand new. COVID-19. So, this virus was just found. Yes, I know there are conspiracy theories that it could date back to September or even further, that maybe it, was found in a lab or anything. Don't believe the rabbit holes. Listen to scientists. and medical doctors. And when I say medical doctors, I'm talking about real doctors. And I'm talking about the ones not that are going on Fox News, like on Judge Jeanine, Sean Hannity, Tommy Loren, Laura Ingraham, and those. Because those doctors are lying to you or have false titles that have no degrees and unfortunately wrote in to their faux television shows on the coattails of Oprah Winfrey. Yes, Dr. Phil, I'm talking about you. You phony sham of a host and a liar. And Dr. Oz, you are a piece of shit. When you say schools should just open up, and what is the loss of 2 to 3% of the children? You, sir, are the worst kind of sack of shit that goes along with Judge Jeanine, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, and those weasel-dicked little bastards at Fox News, including Donald Trump's favorites at Fox and Friends. So, I urge you, if you watch this video and you're on my friends list when this gets published and goes to Facebook and publishes on Twitter, and for some reason, if someone that watches Fox News and sees this, you are an idiot. Turn that fucking channel off because they are fucking lying to you. I don't care if you don't want to watch CNN. CNN is telling you the truth. Yes, there are some hosts that may seem biased to you. Okay, don't watch them. But you know what? People like Chris Como actually is telling you the truth. Yes, you may not like Anderson Cooper, but his truth is there. His verifiable truth is there. The same with Don Lemon. The same with all of them. You can look and you can verify their facts. And you know what? At least if they get something wrong, they will own up to it. And the same thing with MSNBC. With Joe and Mika in the morning, or Stephanie Rule, her take on what's going on in the economy is amazing. She will call out this freaking liar when he's telling you this shit is all rosy and this thing is going to just turn around if we open up right now. No. You need to listen to Stephanie Rule in the mornings on MSNBC because she's going to tell you what's going on in the markets and what's going on in these small businesses, because you know what? He's lying to you about these small business loans. When he talked about it in this coronavirus briefing, you want to know some of the businesses that got these loans? Ruth Chris Steakhouse, one of the most high-end steakhouses in the nation, where you get reservations and a table of two averages $175 for two people to eat. How do I know? My husband and I have frequented there when I'm on business trips. Or when my husband, daughter, and I go to San Diego, my daughter loves to go there because we will sit there and we will look over the marina. And we will average $250 for the three of us. Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Look it up. That is a company that got a small business loan in PPE. Not a small business like in Oklahoma, a small restaurant that is closed right now, or a small art dealer. The actual small businesses that are struggling? No, a nationwide chain restaurant group making hundreds of $millions a year got loans over real mom and pop stores. So when he's telling you that it's working and we hear that it is completely drained dry, he's lying to you, because it's drained dry. It's because large businesses got the money, not the small ones that needed it most. So when those small restaurants and those small businesses that needed it most closed down, because not all cities or states are doing things to help those small businesses, and they were counting on getting access to this money. Yeah, thank President Trump, because he allowed this to happen to them. My city, Oklahoma City, our local government set up some funds that we had over $5 million to help small businesses. Because we saw what was going to happen. Our president didn't care. He allowed large businesses to say they were small. Even his company tried to scam the system. One of his economic advisors, Larry Kudlow, his wife applied because she had an art gallery. So she applied. They are multi-millionaires. So tell me, when he's here touting that this is such a success. Oh, it's a success for large business bailouts, but not for the mom and pop, the true small businesses. So when we do get to reopen, and those small businesses maybe have a reopen, and you don't see your favorite server or that favorite cashier, or you see less people and you don't know why, Thank Trump and his administration. You can thank them because they were to put the people in to oversee and not allow this to happen. But Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, and them cut out those people. And Trump signed off. And so the real small businesses that needed our tax dollars that you and I approved via our state representatives and our senators didn't get our money that we're going to be paying on till we die, and our grandchildren will be paying on, because Trump wanted to ensure that his largest campaign donors got that money. So you can say, thanks, Trump. Thanks for ensuring those large steakhouses, those large businesses, the large so-called LLCs like Hobby Lobby, Larry Kudlow's wife's art gallery, and so forth, could get our money. But the smaller businesses in Oklahoma, Florida, California, Illinois, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia. I could sit here and name every 50 states and start naming amazing small towns and cities across this amazing country that we have, that Donald Trump is allowing to wither during this pandemic. Close their doors forever. So Donald Trump and Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, and everybody that's on this board to reopen America, and the two senators from Oklahoma, Inhofe and Langford, let me just go ahead and give you a round of fuck yous, because you guys are fucking bastards and a group of assholes. So let's now move on to testing. Trump, you know, in a national pandemic, it is up to the government to help coordinate a national response. Let me restate that. It is up to the national government to coordinate a national response when a national declaration of emergency is issued. Damn. You know, how hard is it to understand that we are in a national emergency state? You like to say that, well, I issued this national emergency, so I have total, you said this, you have total authority. That's what you said. You have total authority, so you can do what the fuck you want. Except you don't want to take responsibility when you fucked up. No, Donald Trump, no, I don't want, no, that's not my fault. No, it's the governor's fault that we haven't had mass testing. No, it's not the Trump administration's fault that you don't have ventilators. You should have ordered those years ago. No, that's not my fault. It's not my fault that I didn't make sure that should we have a pandemic that, oh, that, my administration and other things showed that we had issues, that we should have maintained the national stockpile, we should have maintained this and that. But no, it's your fucking fault. You should have ordered that years ago. You should have had all that in place. It's your fault. Donald, state governments can only do so much. But when we are in a national crisis, it is for the national government to step in and help. And that is why we have things like the National Reserve for oil. That's why we have the national stockpile. We have the National Reserve for medical supplies. So when Obama last left office, we had a national stockpile for smallpox. Should we have a pandemic happen with smallpox, we could release the smallpox vaccination for all of Americans to get that vaccination to prevent an outbreak. See, there's a thing that, there's a reason why we have a national stockpile. I mean, when you use your brain, and I know it's hard for you to use your brain because, you said you went to college and you went to school. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. You said you went to business school. I'm questioning that you actually got the grades that you said. I'm pretty sure your daddy paid for the grades that you had. We know your daddy paid for your bone spurs. We pretty much know that's a fact. But, when we are looking at reality and understanding, and we're looking at some facts here, common sense and facts sometimes go hand in hand. So it's part of the evaluation process yearly. And I know you have people in place, or at least unless you fired them or didn't rehire them, or you have just an inept White House operations, and that's totally a big possibility, because it's a revolving door, much like the women in your life, or the lower level of women in your life, because you have your wives that are revolving door, and then you have your mistresses. But still, there is a thing called a preparedness check, and I know that's been done because it has been told to the American public that it has been done. So if you did not follow through in getting prepared, which we know it said you needed to do things, it is not President Obama and former Vice President Biden's fault that you did not do your job. Just like anybody else. Sorry, I got to get a cup of coffee. you have things that you are told to do to be prepared. And there are things that you normally should do to ensure that you are prepared to do your job. Obviously, you haven't done your job, so you are blaming other people, such as you are blaming now the governors across the United States, but especially Democratic governors for not having testing done. But you're just saying that they are the ones that are loudly complaining about testing. But the thing is, if you listen to the National Governors Association, which is headed by Republican Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, he has said it is a consensus of all governors that testing is a massive issue across the board because A, there is not enough supplies, B, there is not enough agent for testing, and B, there is not enough anything warranted in safely to even begin to look at reopening. Because governors do not have the ability to test effectively. So, it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans too. But the sad thing is, we have Republican idiots that are going to open anyway. Case in point, South Carolina. Case in point, Florida. Oh, dear Lord, Florida. Bless their hearts. Good God, Florida. You, Trump, and your good old friend, Governor DeSantis, you guys are going to have a lot of blood on your hand because there's going to be a massive amount of spike and deaths because of your actions. There has not been enough testing in Florida to even allow the opening of beaches. South Carolina, you're next. Mississippi, Alabama. I'm looking at you, Governor Tate, Madam Governor Ivy. Oh, bless your hearts. You listening to Trump is, yeah. Just going to give you a nice big old swath of bless your hearts. And, we saw what happened in Georgia. Well, I didn't know that asymptomatic people could transmit. That's just a game changer. Those are the Republican governors that aren't saying anything because they are just so stupid. And those are the people that are gonna get people killed. And just like the governor in my great state of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt, anti-vaxxer and Trump loyalist, he's going to try to reopen the state of Oklahoma on May 1st, but our cases are climbing. We don't have enough testing done. And just as of Wednesday, it is spreading like wildfire in western Oklahoma. We had a nursing home hotspot just open up. 17 patients just all of a sudden tested positive, and 2 of them just died. And they are waiting testing on everybody else. And just think of this. Every one of those RNs, CNAs, and nursing, and housekeeping, and cooks went home to their families. And this is in Binger, Oklahoma, a small community. So every one of those CNAs, nurses, and stuff also travel around. I know this area town because I grew up in this area. So we're going to have community spread, and it's going to make a whole lot of people sick in western Oklahoma. And the hospitals in Weatherford are not prepared. But yet I know our governor is going to try to open, because we have 11 counties that I don't know how they're not showing anybody that doesn't have one case, especially 2 counties that are completely surrounded that have multiple cases. I don't know how. But Governor Stitt is going to listen to Donald Trump because he is a good Trump loyalist and is going to ignore the science and the facts of what's going on. Thank God the mayors of our 2 largest cities and mayors in a couple of the suburbs, unfortunately not mine, because the mayor and city council of my suburb are, well, not bright, along with a lot of the people. There are some good people here. They want to open up and get everything going, but ignore the amount of community spread. But the mayor in my city, in our city council, except one, want to open up, don't want to open up because they know the crisis, unlike Donald Trump, because they know we haven't got the capabilities of testing. The city councilman for my area, in my city council ward, James Greer, go fuck yourself. That's what I'm going to say. Go fuck yourself. Because you know why? We're not ready to open up in Oklahoma City. Our cases are rising and our death toll is rising. So you, sir, go fuck yourself. You know, I've never run for office. I don't know even the first thing. I don't even have the time. But if I had the extra time and the money and a way to do it, by God, I would, because you, sir, are a worthless piece of shit and you don't care at all. Just like Donald Trump. In fact, I know you're a Trump loyalist. I've met you, and you are a piece of shit. Because I asked you about something to do with LGBT issues, and you said, I don't get into those because it's against my religion. So fuck you. And then Trump, I want to get into this, that no one saw this coming. You fucking blind, ignorant buffoon. Really? No one saw it coming? No one? The whole Democratic Party saw it coming because it was talked about in the debates. The WHO talked about it. In fact, your own people talked about it. The only person apparently that didn't see it coming or chose to ignore it was you. You chose to ignore it because it wasn't good for your reelection. What was good was you could call it a hoax, a Democratic hoax that was only there to harm you because you said impeachment didn't work, the Russian thing didn't work, and now they're using this virus thing to try to hurt you. No, bitch. The virus thing was killing people. And you hoped it killed enough people to ensure your reelection. All you did in this thing is lie. You lied about the stockpile. You lied about the virus. You lied. When will you stop and just sit down and say, listen, I fucked up. I think maybe you might do it the day after the election when you're sitting in the Oval Office reflecting on your loss. Because you know why? You're not going to be reelected on your record. Your record has been dismal. The economy rebounded and was growing because of what Obama and Biden had put in place. It wasn't all just you. It wasn't. Did you do things that might have helped? Sure. But the record growth and all of that was because of what Obama and Biden had put in place the prior 8 years. It wasn't just you. But you fucked everything up and allowed people to die on your watch. And Republicans, it wasn't Benghazi or emails or impeachment or Russia. All of that was a farce that you couldn't get over because there were facts and truth and everything there. But you refused to listen because you thought it was going to remove your power. So you just sat there and let it happen. And now you have this. And you don't know if you should just sit here and let it happen and let this president continue to lie and let people die. Some of you are like, let's open up and pray that it doesn't kill anybody else. And some of you are like, I don't know if it's time. Those of you that are questioning reopening, continue to question because you guys understand that maybe it's not time. Because you understand that lives matter. But if you are pushing to reopen immediately, you don't care. And you want more people to die. President Trump, I'm not ready to die. My daughter's not ready to die, and my husband's not ready to die. Neither are my parents. I don't want any more Americans to die. So do one thing. If you really are a Christian, pray and find some solaceness and humbleness. Stop lying and listen to the people that are saying, listen to the medical people, listen to the scientists. Work with Congress to find a payment to the people and to the real small businesses, because it's not time to open. Because what's going to happen is more Americans are going to die on your watch.